Okay. Says we're live. Are we live? Yep. One day I'm going to get this 100% right. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Checking all the stuff. Everything seems to be working. Great. Okay. We are live on YouTube, live everywhere else. Sorted. Lovely. So, it's that time again. Hello everyone. On the first year anniversary. Bloody hell. Time flies when you're having fun. Well, when I say you're having fun. Yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, another one of these. First year anniversary. Doesn't feel like a year. And, yeah, I thought let's have a bit of a relaxed one for a change. Hello, Samantha. So, what I thought for this particular one is, since it's the first year anniversary, I've got one or two things to discuss, but I thought last time we had fun, we were just talking about anything in the end, because it started to turn into a discussion about comics and whatnot. So I thought, let's take another chilled front. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Finally, after months of waiting, got the haircut. Really happy about that. It's really nice to get to feel my neck again. It's been a long time. I think I didn't even have a haircut before the last lockdown, so that was fun. So yeah, things have been going well. Progress on book 3 is going quite well. Definitely ending up being a lot of a bigger tome than I expected. Hi Andy. Expected it to be a longer book, but considering I'm on just about to start chapter 6 and still sort of very comfortably in the first act, it's going to be a big one. But I'm happy about it. So it's coming out well. So, yes, hello everyone. So yeah, I thought we kicked things off with a video I saw earlier. Now I thought I'm not gonna do a lot of writing talking this time, because I thought, let's keep it on the mellow. But I'm gonna sort of bring up a brilliant. Boo, be quiet. I see you there. Gonna bring up a interesting video which I saw, which actually made me think about my writing style in a different way. From a very strange source. It was a video on YouTube about the HBO series Chernobyl, and on there it was a very interesting talk where they were discussing the film and its use of perspective, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I could kick you for spamming. I'm trying to make a good point here. And it struck me while I was sorry, distracted. It struck me while I was actually watching this video that I'd never really considered how we as writers use perspective in a very unique way, because it's something that I just kind of naturally gravitated to, just having things be mostly through one or two point of view characters. But watching this video, it was fascinating because they were talking about how you have this really big historical event, the nuclear disaster, and then how they chose to represent it. They didn't show any big grand spectacle of big explosions. They saw the entirety of it through the perspective in the eyes of individual characters. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, because what I plan to do later on in the book in more sort of actiony sequences is, instead of talking about the grand scale of the world around them, things blowing up, people flying about all over the place, what I was thinking of doing is actually addressing this big action scene, but through the eyes of specific people, because I thought you could do 3 quite good or interesting things there. The first is you can focus less on the action that's happening and more on characters' internal dilemmas and whatnot going on, because I think if you've got these big action sequences, you could possibly get lost in all the flailing about and swords clashing and whatnot. So to actually spend time to focus on individual characters is interesting. Second, it gets a lot of focus onto the like characters in that moment, because I'm like to think that my stuff's more character led than anything else. So to give like a big action scene the full focus of characters is going to be a lot more interesting. And 3, I just think it would stop it from getting particularly boring. Because there's only so many interesting ways that you can describe how a sword flying about works. So yeah, I've actually found that quite useful. I'm going to revisit it for next stream, which will be... Actually, let me check. I haven't seen when the next stream will be. May time, obviously. So that would be possibly... Oh, that's quite good. Probably May 29th. 22nd or 29th. I'll confirm it nearer the time. And of course, then I'll be 1 year older. Yep, I'll be 25 by May 8th. The years creep up, they do. But I thought, on that note, it's a good time to be quite reflective, really, because this being the first anniversary of the stream, this silly little thing that I've been doing, I've been trying to be like as dedicated as possible to getting these out once a month. Hasn't always worked. I think I missed about 2 or 3 due to a combination of probably technical problems and what was it? It was technical problems and also personal reasons. That's the way it works, unfortunately. But yeah, I've been getting a lot better at going to doing these things. It's going to be the Alex being the first to die in Among Us streams. Oh my god, I can't believe I keep happening. If I'm in a stream with Ace of Diamonds down there, she is always the first to kill me. Not in a stream, in an Among Us game. And then I go on to the Doctor Who book server, who, I'm starting to, want to get as, friendly as possible. And then Jake friggin' Lick Leader, who's always on my ass, killing me the first opportunity he gets. I love the shenanigans. I really do want to stream one of those at some point. I don't know if everyone else on the server would agree to that, but I really want to do that because I like the game a lot, but my god, do I let the tension get the better of me. And this is exactly what I wanted to discuss in this anniversary stream. Because I have a feeling that this and the next one are just going to be, let's just ramble, and then come June we can talk about the deep stuff. Revenge killing me. The guy is a menace, and I know he's going to watch this. We can't talk about him because he's going to see us. And everyone loves me raging. I will say, it's great news. It's absolutely great news, because whenever you're killing people in that game, it's so cathartic. And I love the animations of I love and hate the animations, because when you do it to people, it's so satisfying to just be sneak up behind them, off, dead. But then I can just be doing my business, and I swear I loop the animations sometimes. It's get pushed over and shot in the head. And the worst thing is it's news to me, because it's just how many unique times can people get killed. So it's great for my books. It's thinking, how can I kill off this character? Which is rare, because I don't kill off characters that much. I think it can work for certain... I've said this before, but it can work for certain people. I'm not massively into, killing off characters. But if it's chibi little neon-coloured astronauts in a spaceship, while one person, usually Ace, is acting very sus, killing us, then it's a whole other ballpark. And I'm glad the rage is gold, because I know what it's like. Most of the time, I'm one of the few English people in there, or British people in there, and, it's expected of me, isn't it? But, I mean, it says a lot that you can get, it's time for tea. Yeah, the tea. Among Us is a force for evil as much as it is a force for good. It divides as much as it separates, and I want everyone to know that's my stance on it. And yes, it is time for actual tea as well. See, I mentioned this before, but I might as well say it again. It seems really egotistical that I drink out of a mug with my name on it, but it was a gift from my mother. It just looks really egotistical that it's just me, and then says all the great things behind the name, blah blah blah, and it's just okay. but I managed to win as imposter. Yes, I know you managed to win as imposter. You always manage to win as imposter. Almost always. Because the people there don't know you. Anyone that doesn't know you be like, oh, it can't be her. It's the cute sounding little one. She couldn't hurt a fly. Without realising she's killed most of you. And this has been like 4 or 5 games of Among Us. The frustrations all merged into one outburst. So I hope you're all happy about that. This has been the Alex Baxter Scott period of Among Us tea. So anyway, now that that's all out of the way, how is everyone today? Everyone doing well? Oh, we're so happy now that we can actually open the shop again. And in the sort of opening time, my books have been selling quite well. You know, not being boastful because I don't have a single, modest bone in my body. But as far as yeah, laugh it up. As far as the shop's been going, we couldn't ask for anything better. Like really, really doing well because we find that the sort of period of the obligatory Norma Bates clothes. Also, hi Marcus. Glad you can make it for one of these. So yeah, we're really happy that stuff's finally picking up, and like getting the sense of like normality is trying to set in. Of course, we do worry it might be setting in a bit too quickly, but what can you do? So yeah, I'm glad you're doing okay, Andy, as well as we can be for these trying times. So yeah, I thought I could, now that it's been a year, I thought, I can sort of reflect back on, like, this last year, really, and what's got done, because the whole point of doing these live streams was because, was it this? I don't remember if it was this exact Saturday, I'd have to check the dates, but it was around about now that our local con, Sci-Fi Scarborough, was coming up, and we thought, okay, cool, I've got my first book, I'm just about ready to publish my second, and around about that time, the second book was sort of getting proof copy sent, flick through it, see if everything's okay, and then it's just a case of, like, clicking the button, then it's live on Amazon. Great. So we'll use Sci-Fi Scarborough 2020 to be the big launching point for book 2. So it was all set up, booked a table, we were getting all the stuff for the table to, make it look flashy and presentable. And I think probably not a week or two, it's probably about 3 weeks? I think 3 weeks before, 3 weeks before the con was about to begin, they announced that they were pulling the plug, which was fair enough. I would never say that it was a bad move to do that, because it was just as soon as... It was right before the first ever lockdown, and people were starting to cancel venues anyway, because we'd gone to Edinburgh to see Elvis Costello live, and that was a bucket list performance. That was something that we always wanted to see. And so we saw it, then 2 days later he stopped touring. So it was absolutely hairline just got there. So we're really happy about that. And so of course, around about that time, we were up in Edinburgh, brushing shoulders with 1,000 or so people in a indoor music venue. So, God only knows what kind of diseases were flying around the place, much less whether the big C was about then. So we came back and we got the news that Sci-Fi Scarborough was cancelled for that year. Fair enough. But then they announced that they were doing an online version, which was basically online panels. They had, I think, Colin Baker, who had a terrible internet connection, and Nicola Bryant, and I think they had a few other people, but I can't remember, sort of doing, you'll Zoom Q&As, and you could send in questions via Facebook and all that stuff. So that was quite successful. And then they had basically anyone that was doing trading, or would have been doing trading, basically drops their links to, their Amazon pages or their Etsy shops or whatever on the Facebook page for Sci-Fi Scarborough, and then it was all done online. So for, that's cool. It gets done, and you don't have to pay money to actually go to a place and see all these people, which was a shame because they had a great lineup and it was very Doctor Who centric. They had the Sixth Doctor back. He was there in the first year. They would have had Fraser Hines, Jamie McCrimmon, not David Clayton, fucking hell. Was it David Clayton? No, it's not David Clayton. Doctor Who nerds. Who played the Valeyard? It's someone Clayton. Yeah, they got him, which was a shame because I would have loved to have been at that con to see if both the Sixth Doctor and the Valeyard's actors could still clash in person. That would have been great. Fraser Hines, John Leeson, the voice of K9, and I'm pretty sure they had a few others. I think they booked one of. Was it John Dorney? It was one of the people that was inside the Cybermen costumes and all the monsters. So, because we've done quite well for that. We've had a few people who have dressed up as the monsters and are dashing about on stage. But yeah, that was not meant to be, which was fine. I was glad that they actually decided to err on the side of caution. Whovian, yeah. So the fact that all came online sort of. Michael Jaston, thank you. Because I kept thinking David Jaston, and I thought he's the guy from Only Fools and Horses. That's not the Valeyard. Although I'd love to see him as the Valeyard. That would be right hilarious. So yeah, the idea of doing it online, I thought, okay, there's something there. You know, I can whittle on for hours, so might as well give it a go. So I did it, but the annoying thing was, after a few of them, YouTube then decided to change up their entire way of doing the way of doing streaming. So on the one that was on May 9th after my birthday, that was an absolute disaster because I couldn't actually work it because YouTube were like, oh, you need to download this or this. So it was fine. I just downloaded OBS and it works a treat. I'm still using it now. Just wish I'd actually be more transparent about that, but what can you do? So yeah, that was April last year, and I've tried to do as many of these as I can. Always tried to put them on the theme of writing, which is why, even though this one's sort of quite a throwaway reflective type, I have saved that video about perspective using Chernobyl as an example for a later one, so I can go into more detail because it's a fascinating thing, and I definitely want to go into it in more actually deconstruct the idea more. But as far as now's concerned, I think we'll put that on the back burner for now. Let's see, I'm good. I've been getting back into Attack on Titan lately after falling off for a long time. Yeah, I've been meaning to. I watched the first season of Attack on Titan and then fell off it after cosplaying Hanji in one of the local cons. For 2 years? Yeah, 2 years I got out of that cosplay. And I was been meaning to sort of look into it again, but now they're at the final season, I think I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to wait for this season to end, so we've got a definitive end point, and then at the very least watch the final season and then see if anything in between's going to grab my interest, because it's not one of the shows that I'm massively in love with, but I do have enough engagement to want to see how it ends, basically. Let's see. Because if you ask me, if you get me on to talk about anime, I've got a lot of feelings regarding anime. I should say as well, I think everyone's surprised what my first ever anime is. Now, if we don't count stuff like Pokemon and whatnot. Oops, that's sent early. It's okay, no rush. If anyone asks me my first ever anime, they always get surprised because it's a very specific one found in a very specific reason. I'm getting back into it so I could catch up before the ending. That's true. No, I tell a lie. I did watch a bit of. I think it's season 2 or season 3. I can't remember. That's the one with Kenny Ackerman in it. I think that's season 2. I want to see that because I absolutely love his English dub voice actor, Phil Parsons, who's really underrated, and I think he gives a really good performance as Kenny Ackerman, especially knowing he's based on Trevor on GTA, which is a mad concept at the best of times. I never got into Attack on Titan, but I love the Junior High parody. Yeah, I want to know if that's still going on. I don't know whether they stopped after season 2 or 3, but if they do a junior high for the final season. I hope they do, because they've introduced all those new characters, and I'd quite like to see how they translate. Yeah, my first ever. That was season 3. Thank you. Season 2. I'm like that out of context Twin Peaks line from Miguel Ferry. He just turns around and goes, "What happens in season 2?" Because I've got no memory of season 2 of Attack on Titan. But yeah, my first anime. Really, like, it's like if my first my first introduction to anime would be like if someone's never seen a film before and you suggest like The Lighthouse. It's not what you'd call a big barrier of entry for anime fans, because my very first one was very specifically, without watching the series, it was End of Evangelion, which is an experience for someone who'd never seen anime before, because what happened was I was really, and still am, like, a fan of Transformers, and someone had overscored one of the fight sequences in the movie to some of the music from the 1980s Transformer movie. And I thought, oh, I like the composer of that. This is clearly dubbed in. Let's see what it is. And these massive, like, whale-headed monstrosities with big red lips started fighting, and blood flying everywhere, spikes flying everywhere, people's eyes getting gouged out, and I'm like, Jesus, what is this? This is horrific. And then this sums me up perfectly, because I saw this horrific thing that I kind of had to really try and avoid not getting nightmares about, and then I thought, where can I watch the rest of it? So I watched the entire movie, beginning to end, all in one go, didn't pause or anything. What got to the end, didn't know who these characters were or what the hell was going on. All I know is I was quite disturbed. And then again, I was like, oh, that's really disturbing. I think this has kind of screwed me up a bit. I should watch more. Watch the whole series. And Evangelion became like the entry into anime. And from there, I think it branched into a few, because I had a phase where I was like really exploring anime. So Fullmetal Alchemist, Code Geass, I think, Hellsing. What else was there? Oh yeah, Revolutionary Girl Utena, which actually helped inspire my books a lot. My stuff's quite like Revolutionary Girl Utena derived, so that was good. This was about, I would have discovered Evangelion in 2011, 2012. And then, and Naruto Shippuden as well. I remember watching a bit of that as it was coming out. So, yeah, Evangelion would have been 2011, 2012, and then pretty much everything else after that would have been 13, 14. Like, between the ages of 16 and 18 were like the Genesis weeb years. I really need to watch Evangelion, especially because I found out that the creator of Evangelion wrote and directed Shin Godzilla, and what I've seen of that movie is phenomenal. Yes, Hideaki Anno. Bloody love that he got a chance to direct Godzilla, because from what I can tell, his Godzilla movie was really well received, which was good because the Evangelion movies, which were like a retelling of the series, they'd just done their third movie, which isn't a well-loved film. If you ask my opinion, the first two Evangelion movies are phenomenal. The third one, I'm going to hold off on scathing, because I think if I watch the fourth movie when that eventually comes out, then it might make the third one look better. Like, if you've got a complete quadrilogy, then you'll know. Because I think, to use a heated comment, I think people's opinions of stuff like The Last Jedi has improved now that they've seen people's opinions of The Last Jedi might have improved now that they've seen Rise of Skywalker. I'm not going to get into that. But I think when that fourth movie comes, I'm going to reevaluate the third. But I'm looking forward to the fourth one, because it looks amazing. And all the reviews I've seen really support that. I mean, if you want like my full-on opinion of Evangelion, I would say that it is intense. It's not a barrier of entry into the anime genre at all. You definitely need to be in the right mindset to watch it. But I would say I've got a lot of respect for someone like Hideaki Anno, who can turn what was essentially a mental breakdown and basically a pretty vivid like series of mental health crises, and then basically turn it into a show with giant creatures fighting, along with terrific music, great characters, good visuals. Yeah, because I've got a lot of respect for Hideaki Anno for that. It's definitely something I can relate to, because I think, not that I would ever compare my books to Evangelion, because that is not something that you can ever really do and have the authority to do so. But I think there's quite a lot to be said about the fiction that you make when you are kind of in need of a vent, like to vent out all your feelings and like any kind of emotions that you have, to kind of use a creative medium to vent that out and use it as a form of therapy, then I think what you generally end up creating can, there's no guarantee that it'll always come out 100%, but it kind of feels like the emotions that you put into there feel a bit more raw and authentic. Because at this stage, most people know that that my books only came about really because I started losing family members, and the sort of cocktail of emotions that you get from that kind of really helped to like put it on the page and then get it out. And so it's good that I think some creatives can use the downsides of life to make something good. The appeal of his writing between these abilities to communicate such a vivid feeling of sheer terror and despair that makes the audience feel. That's a fantastic skill to have. Yeah, and I think, especially when you look at things like Evangelion, like what I love about the movie, because I've had such a complicated relationship with the end of Evangelion movie, especially not being able to really like understand what it was at first, is it feels like someone's like the story is almost at what lengths can we go to on our worst possible day. Now extend it into basically world-ending proportions, and you've got a very exaggerated story there, but at the end of the day, it is still like that feeling of despair and then turning it around and turning it into something optimistic, even if the end of that movie is very vague. I should say as well, speaking of vagueness, most people here will probably know because I keep talking about it on all the platforms I'm on. But the big thing that I've been watching over lockdown is Twin Peaks. Oh, I love that show. I really love it. I'm halfway through season 2 right now. Do plan to see season 3, but I basically bought myself a early birthday present, which was the complete Twin Peaks box set of seasons 1, 2, the TV movie Fire Walk with Me, and the movie comprised of the deleted material from Fire Walk with Me. And I'll get season 3 eventually, once we finish season 2 and all that stuff. And yeah, what can you say about David Lynch? I think for me personally, Lynch is as inspiring as he is baffling, and that's kind of what I love in a creative. Because I will always be for people who, and I'm going to get into some interesting territory here, but I'm always for people who are able to have a creative vision that they can just get out, completely like unfiltered. Like, there's pros and cons. My phone just exploded. Discord. Nah. Like, a lot of people would say that the Star Wars prequels are like an interesting choice for creative freedom and whether, it's always good or not, because, like, the original series of Star Wars, pardon me, with the exception of Episode 4, 5 and 6 was a mixture of, it was George Lucas's vision, but other talent was bringing that to life. You had Lawrence Kasdan writing, and you had Lawrence Kasdan writing Episode 5. Did he write Episode 6? Can't remember. And people like what's his name? God, I've forgotten all the names of the directors. But yeah, the like the directing staff of episodes 5 and 6 very different to, you know, episode 4. Richard Mark one. Richard Mark one. That's it. What anime should I watch? I think I know where you're going with this. Is it Kiketsu Kaijin? I've said the name wrong, haven't I? Kiketsu Kaijin? You know what I mean. That one. But yeah, with the Star Wars movies, it's interesting because like a creative vision that is like unaltered can like give birth to some good things. Then you could argue that basically being surrounded by yes men is why Star Wars episodes 2 and 3 episodes 1 and 2 could maybe not have been as good as they could have. I got to take off. Sorry, wasn't able to stay long. Have fun. Yep, no worries, Andy. I'll see you later, and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, so having like a complete I know I've butchered it badly. I've only ever seen it typed. Jujutsu Kaisen, thank you. Like having a creative vision that is completely like free has its benefits, has its downsides. That's what I'm saying. And with David Lynch, what I like is seeing his vision unaltered in things like Twin Peaks is great because it's just nice to see like an eccentric creator be like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? We're just gonna like go balls to the wall with this. You know, we can have people floating upside down, spewing orbs or something. You know, it might not always be the most clear thing, but you know, I think there is a place in our society where there are movies that are completely 100% cut and dry. You know, all the answers are given, everything is presented on the page, it is what it is, and that's great. But I do have a soft spot, and I do think that there is a place for the movies that leave you baffled, that you kind of need to constantly watch, or you need to like stick with for a long time in order to get some of the answers, and maybe the answers aren't even always there. Like, I don't think I would ever have the confidence to be able to write something that on that level of like bizarre and metaphysical. But I do think that the best fiction is the kind that not only can you engage with but sticks with you. And I think if you create something that has an air of mystery or an air of intrigue that people will want to keep revisiting because, you know, you might get something different from your interpretation of it, or your interpretation might be informed on multiple watches, then, you know, you've got something that has staying power. Like, I know the internet was awash with sort of theories about The Lighthouse. We've seen The Lighthouse, and I would say that I don't think I love it as much as a lot of people do, but I can definitely see the appeal because it is a very strange movie that asks a lot about the human condition. And it sounds quite pretentious, but sometimes I like that. I do sort of draw the line with pretentiousness at some points, but I think if you've got something that's engaging, then you can definitely, you know, you've got something that will stick with people. That is, I think, certainly the most that I could ever ask for as a creative. If I could recommend something, Yu Yu Hakusho is a fantastic anime. Yeah, I think I can identify it by visuals, but I can't really say I know too much about it. But I will have to, we'll have to make a note to, check that one out. I'm not quite. It's big. I think it's big enough that it's legally available in the UK. I'm gonna have to check which. I'm gonna have to check which anime streaming site in the UK actually hosts it. So yeah, I'll make a note to do that. Just actually getting out my anime list. See what because I'm one of these people that will get inspiration from anywhere, and I think anime has definitely been a big one. Like the big news over lockdown is, you know, you think the Doctor Who wilderness years were bad. One of my all-time favourite anime is Macross, and they haven't been able to release that officially in the West for over 30 years. And during lockdown at the beginning of the month or at the end of March, they just said, oh, all the legal troubles are sorted, and we're going to basically work on getting as much of it released in the West as we can. For context, I was into that anime around 2012 and never got, like, pre 2012 actually, probably start of the 2010s. So this has been a long time coming for me and all the other fans, especially the older ones. So that is fantastic. But if you want to say like what anime really inspired sort of my writings, I would be lying if I said that My Hero Academia hasn't been an inspiration. Blood Blockade Battlefront definitely helped, which is a great anime if all the Doctor Who fans, if anyone's really into Torchwood, then I would say Blood Blockade Battlefront is a great anime to check out, because it's like, if you imagine Torchwood, but the rift has like completely opened, you've got all this horrific stuff coming out, but Torchwood is in New York, and they are sort of coexisting with aliens and kind of keeping a delicate balance. It's a great show. And a terrific English dub, I must say. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what, a big one that was an inspiration for Ancient Magus Bride. Another great one, I think, if you're a Doctor Who fan, because it's set in the UK, which my books are, and in the English countryside, bonus. And that really ties into the sort of ye olde mythology of Britain, like the like Turnanog. You know, the old mythical Britain, where you've got like Fairy King Oberons and oh, by all means, Samantha, go for it. Yeah, please. So yeah, Ancient Magus Bride, terrific, with all like really inventive, really creative representations of the Fey creatures and all the magical goings on. Especially since there was a really good sort of connection between my book and theirs, which I really like went to Ancient Magus Bride for how they did this, which was the idea of like the world hidden from our own. Bloody love that idea. Yeah, Samantha, please do share, because I do think it's good to share. It's good to share where we get our inspiration from, because as I've said before, there's no original ideas in the world at all. But whatever we're inspired by, I think we can sort of create a unique blend of things, and that's where you get your new plots from. See, it's a pro and a con, really, because I know a future character of mine is going to have like prosthetic arms that are made of metal, and I think, God, people are just going to wait to pounce to say, oh, look, that's clearly from Full Metal Alchemist. Nah. Other characters have metal prosthetics, not just the Elric brothers. We mean to check out the live-action adaptation of that one, actually. The effects look great. It's got that much going for it. Let's see, what else do I have? Black Butler. I seem to be like gravitating towards the anime that is set in the UK. Oh, yeah, that is like the it's not the Holy Trio, it's whatever the Holy Quad. It's the Holy Four of anime. Yu Yu Hakusho, Dragon Ball Z, Attack on Titan, and Naruto. Yeah, like I know Ace round here is the more official Dragon Ball aficionado between me and her, because she's been a bit of a fan of Vegeta and Future Trunks, haven't you? So let's see, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I will give Yu Yu Hakusho a chance for sure. Because I'm not too fussed about my anime, so I will definitely give it. Is it a short anime or a long anime? Because the watch list at the moment is I've forgotten the full title of it, but it's the anime about the house husband that looks like Shota Izawa from My Hero Academia. Because it's a short one on Netflix and it looks hilarious. And he looks quite hot. So after that is going to be Demon Slayer, because that's all on Netflix and I need to see it. Don't know if I'll be able to catch the movie, because they've been quite fortunate. We've been getting Vegeta is my dad, what are you on about? I think he's everyone's dad at this stage. Him in his ugly pink shirts, you know the reference. Because they did have the Demons. They are showing the Demon Slayer movie. I just don't think we'll probably be able to get to it in time, so I'll probably wait for that to come out on DVD. It's a short one compared to things like Naruto. Well, good. I mean, if it isn't like 500 episodes with about 350 of filler, then you know we're on to the right track. I was fortunate. The arcs that I was into in Naruto didn't have too many fillers. So the arc that I was on was the... let me have a think. It was the Kage Summit. Yeah, it was the Kage Summit. I remember that one was the one I was watching live. So in the grand scheme of things, if you can sort of figure out where that is in the plot, you can kind of see where I was. I did watch the last episode of Naruto Shippuden before it turned into Boruto, of which I have seen none. I haven't heard a lot of magnificent things about Boruto, but I do like what they do with some of the characters. But most of that extends to Orochimaru and Anko, because I kind of like the idea of what they've done with her. And I believe Orochimaru is an LGBT character now, so... On the one hand, great. On the other hand, they were the villain that was pretty immoral. So it's interesting. There's probably a really deep. Yu Yu Hakusho is 112 episodes long. Okay. Any filler? Is my next question. And if so, good filler? I'm not too fussed about filler. As a Steven Universe fan, you know that like. People can moan about filler all they like. Depends what it brings. If there's like decent stories being told, then there is no such thing as filler. But if it's just throwaway plots for throwaway plot's sake, then what are we talking about? Yeah, so no massive interest in Boruto unless they do something particularly interesting with it. So yeah, that's where I stand with Naruto Shippuden. What were the other ones? Yeah, Attack on Titan. Anything else worthy talking about on the list? I do like a few obscure ones, it has to be said. Code Geass, yeah. That was on Netflix, then I think they took it down, annoyingly. Should see if it's on Crunchyroll or anything, but yeah, the premise of Code Geass is a really interesting one for sure. And the... I love the idea behind it. It's just one of those ones where it's just like, it depends on how much fan service you can really stomach. Yeah. Let's see. The funny thing about my consumption of Naruto is that I mostly read the manga, and then I haven't read the manga. I played through the games that told the parts. That's a good way of doing it. I mean, the good thing about the games is you've always got that level of engagement because you're at least pressing the buttons, watching the cutscenes, and then like getting right into it. It has meh filler that's enjoyable. There's one series that I absolutely love, which is Nadia and the Secret of Blue Water, which was made by the same person as Evangelion. So I would say, like, if you watched Evangelion and then enjoyed it, watch Nadia, because for the most part, it's very good and feels like a kind of Evangelion precursor. Like, Nadia walked so Evangelion could run, but there was one glaring issue with Nadia, and that is it's 11 episodes of filler. Now, 11 episodes doesn't sound too bad, but it was, I think, a 26 episode that turned into a 30 plus episode run. So Hideaki Anno wasn't able to actually do all of it. So hi Amanda. So he wasn't able to actually do all of it. So I think it's the guy who went on to found Studio Trigger did the filler episodes, and they are not good. I mean, the general impression from the Nadia fans is that if you skip the filler, which I think is like 11 episodes and then plot in the middle, I think you won't be missing much. I mean, I watched almost all the filler. I just skipped 2 episodes because I just saw the premise and thought, nah, not for me. So yeah, that's a good one. It's great because I'm watching it, and for the first part it seems like quite light and fluffy, and then you think, oh, is this by the same guy who did Evangelion? It doesn't show. Then it shows. It shows really hard. So yeah, that's the... what I particularly love about this stream is that it's taken up most of it just with anime talk, which is great. And so I think it's always nice to sort of know where your inspiration comes from. And for me, I would say that it is about 15-20% books, 50% anime, and 30% live action and cartoon. Oh yeah, and of course the real life stuff. Yeah, but if we don't include real life stuff, then yeah, it comes out to about that ratio. And if I was saying cartoons that were a big inspiration, I would say Steven Universe being a big one. I'll tell you what, more recently, Owl House. Pardon me. Especially if anyone's a Gravity Falls fan, Owl House is an absolute must. Opinion on the original dub of Sailor Moon. Now, did they only do one dub of Sailor Moon before the new one? Because I think if it's the one I'm thinking about, then I haven't heard much of it, but from what I've heard, it's not the worst dub I've ever heard. I've heard some really atrocious dubs in the past, none of which by Funimation. Funimation do a good job. So I think if it's the one that I'm thinking of, I think it's an okay dub. I think it's an okay dub. It's not the worst by any means. I think that I've heard people credit Our House is so good. I'm so looking forward to season 2. I just watched the finale at work the other day, and I get so excited by that show. Props to them. Bill Cipher is quite an interesting villain, but Emperor Bellos, love it. I particularly love his voice. I love a good British villain as well, and he is terrific. DIC was the original. Right, I'll see which dub I actually watched clips of then, because if it's the one from like 20 years ago, fine. I haven't really seen. I think I've only really seen clips of Sailor Moon. I haven't seen the whole thing yet. But and if I do, I'm not quite sure if I should watch the original series and then the new one, or just ignore the original series and just start on the new one. So I'll need to do some proper research into that. Because again, I'm not quite sure if because I know the new one I think is like completely manga following, so it's like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. But I don't know if the original one made some stuff up and if that one was any good. Because if you ask me my comparison between Fullmetal Alchemist, I love both versions for different reasons. Like the original Fullmetal Alchemist, the new stuff they added I think is great. Serena sounded slightly English. Well, you see, that's a pro for me. That might be a con for a lot of people, but I don't mind that. But with Fullmetal Alchemist, like how they do the homunculi in the original, I think I prefer to the manga. But I think the overall plot in Brotherhood is better. It certainly feels tighter. And Conqueror of Shambhala, I need to watch again. I think I'm one of the few people on the planet that likes the Sacred Star of Milos, whatever it's called. Completely disposable, yeah, but it looks great. I think I'm one of the few that like the original character that they created. Old one is old reference to older tech, and I personally hated the new one. Noted. Yeah, I think once I know which, and if like the new dub is a bit ropey, then I can always just go on to subtitles. But yeah, I will have to do some research into what version of Sailor Moon is the best one. Envy was always my favourite from Fullmetal Alchemist. Same. I think Envy was just done dirty on both versions. One, you get turned into a little green lizard, like tiny little stubby thing, and then get put in a jar for. Did he get put in a jar? Or was that a friend? No, I don't. No, he didn't. No, a friend of mine drew Envy, like little slug form Envy, in a jar of peanut butter, and I think I've confused that with canon. Oh, that's brilliant. But either that or be turned into a dragon and then kind of die by being vanished in a weird portal to Nazi Germany. Yeah, Shambhala I definitely need to watch again to see if it's see if it holds up. Fura Bradley turning into Fritz Lang was a nice choice. Basically showing anime Hitler interesting. Don't know what I feel about Maze Hughes being a Nazi, but especially since everyone makes the Markiplier joke, so I don't want to think about Markiplier being a supremacist. Old jokes, I know, but still funny. Plus, I don't really like the way that they decided to drain the colour out of half of that movie. It's like you're an animated medium, be colourful. The opening credits song's great though. Just trying to think if there was anything else. I mean, I love the original Fullmetal Alchemist for its Way of the Homunculi, but it's always going to be slightly less because they don't have Olivia Armstrong in it. And I've got feelings about Olivia Armstrong, all of them overwhelmingly positive. Because if anyone knows my taste in anime characters, probably doesn't help that she inspired the look of one of my major book characters too. But yeah, anyone that knows me knows that most of my stuff is either derivative from anime or other things. I swear I do come up with original ideas. I don't just rip everything off of other things. But I think it's a nice way to get your stuff out there. The Power Stepping Murder Portal, of course. Snake Dragon. To be honest, everyone in the Alchemy Side of the Portal might have been in that era and such. Yeah, Shambhala, interesting movie. Looks great, if you don't mind that it's sapped all the colouring out of it, with a really funny OVA about them attending a rap party. I'll actually encourage people to look that up. It's hilarious. So yeah, just trying to think if there's any more anime I haven't mentioned. Really excited that they're doing more Ancient Magus Bride. The anime news this year has been insane. So many new anime news has dropped, more so than it has been the last few years. And you'd think stuff would slow down because of the pandemic, but it hasn't. If anything, it's kind of sped things up. So, Ancient Magus Bride coming back. New series of Devil as a Part-Timer. Really excited about that. Because I love that. I love the premise of that series. The devil works at McDonald's. Love it. So that's getting a season 2. 8 years after the original? Something like that. Ancient Magus, Devil as a Part-Timer, Evangelion 4 getting released, and to great reviews from what I've seen, and I can't wait to see it. My Hero Academia Season 5 currently going. I haven't actually watched this week's episode, I should go and see it. What else? Shambhala felt like here is the mirror of the real world for the show sort of thing for me. Yeah. That's why I kind of want to go back and watch it again, because I want to see if my impression of it has improved at all. Because it's kind of like End of Evangelion. It's kind of on middle ground for me. So yeah, we've got My Hero Season 5 and another My Hero movie coming up. Really, I'm excited about it because I like the idea of going to see it, but what the actual substance behind it is going to be interesting for me. Whether it is actually going to be just a filler movie, or if it is going to, do something with itself, like the first 2 movies did. Because the second movie was basically, this is what we wanted for the original ending, and now we've changed it. Compared to the first movie, which seemed like a love letter to Izuku and All Might's relationship. Off topic, but I've been staring at the cover of Trend for a hot minute because it's such a great cover. Oh, Avery's going to love that you said that. She's the cover designer, and I am really lucky that I found her because she started out doing character commissions for me for Steven Universe for OCs, and around about 2017, 18, start of 18, when no, it was 18. Yeah, so around about 2018, I posed the idea to her about doing the book covers because I loved her art style, and I know that she was going into art college, so I thought, well, this would be a good benefit for you, putting your work on the front cover. So she did it for the first and the second, and her commission's open at some point in May, so I'm going to drop over there and give her the brief for the third book cover. And I definitely think it's going to... Who's messaging me still? Ush, we're on live stream. Ush, love, we're on live stream. There we go. And... yeah, so I'm really happy that she's agreed to come back, and I hope that she can continue to do them for a while yet, especially with the progress of the designs, like all having the sort of black and purple starry background with the logo in the background. I hope that can continue. The writing and drawing for Snellfoots that fell off so hard, and on it makes me sad to think about it. I mean, you're in a better position now. I think if you want to return to that, I think now's a good time, especially with now that you're in a more stable situation. I think it'd be pretty great to see that stuff return, especially since you're a great artist. I'd love to see you, Amanda, actually doing more art, because you've got real talent there, and I think people would love to see that nurtured, because you've got a really good skill and a really unique one as well in all the pictures I've seen. So yeah, I'd love to see more of it, because yeah, I think you could make some really special work. Wow, is that 56? We've been talking a while. I think you could probably see I'm starting to lose my voice. Fun. I always do after these streams though, because my throat dries out when I talk a lot. So, since this is the year anniversary, I thought, looking ahead, next stream, because it's going to be my post-birthday stream, the Alex is 1 year older and he's almost a quarter of a century old stream. I think it might do another one of these kind of chill ones, and then maybe in June go back to the writing stuff, because I enjoy talking about the writing stuff, but I do need to get the right topics, so I'm not just repeating myself. I will have water. In about 3 minutes time, we're going to clock over an hour, so I will then. So yeah, I will sort of go back to discussing and sort of having the conversations about the writing stuff, basically for as long as I can, until I run out of ideas. And at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if I run out of ideas by around September, unless something new comes up, or get more questions in from folks. So yeah, the plan is that next one we'll have another sort of faff around, and just sort of have fun. Yeah, Amanda, I'm going to be 25. Could put that into context. Alex is 1 year older and always die in the first Among Us stream. Well, look, hopefully I'll be 1 year older, 1 year wiser, 1 year less trusting, and won't give up so easily, because for context of anyone else watching, I snuck up behind fellow voice actor Kai Clayton and killed them dead, as opposed to killing them alive. And Samantha just casually walked up, and then our characters, if you could imagine they had eyes, they must have locked eyes, and there was a slight pause, and it was just and Samantha immediately was presses the button. It was Alex, and as everyone said, I could have defended myself. I could have been no, it was Samantha. They bloody false flag. They're trying to set me up. They're gonna be setting me up, and it's doomed to fail. But at that point, I killed a few of them, and I just thought, I've had a good run. I cannot be asked to defend my corner anymore. So I took being ejected into was it the airship? I think it was the airship. Either way, I fell to my death with glee. Knowing I killed most of them. It was revenge for getting insta-killed almost all the time. But I know that if I go on stream with those people again, it's going to be insta-death constantly. Until I am the killer. You forgot about that. How could you forget? You were the instrument of my downfall. I was doing so well. It was one of the best ones I'd done, because that airship is a pro and a con. It's hard to navigate, but it's also large enough that you can get away with killing people. And then you just happen to be there, seeing me when I'm still in him, sorry, still in them, and then just be like, Alex is a bean and can't lie. I mean, I can lie, I'm just very bad at it. Like, my acting skills could only extend so far. Although I think I did self-report. Yeah, I did report once and just take the suspicion away from me. And I've probably just now revealed my method of playing. Oh well, hopefully you've all forgotten about it by next stream. May have sent twice, but it's still funny. Still funny to know that my Among Us skillig is not particularly skillful. So I think on that note, we began with Among Us Rage and we ended with Among Us Rage with some bits in between. So yeah, I mean, I might just be too pure of heart to lie. I don't know. Ace, what do you think? Do you think I'm pure of heart and that I can't tell a lie, or do you think I'm just bad at lying? You know, I know you meant Wi-Fi, but when I read that it said your wife is bugging out, I just had just like my wife is bugging out, and then just imagine like this praying mantis in like an apron with like a spoon. Like, my wife is bugging out, and she just comes in like, and with a caption, dinner's ready. I'm not funny. I'm not funny at all. Alex, you don't self-report. Well, my logic is, like, I find... No, I really can't lie. Like, I find a dead body and then, like, self-report, and, like, that takes the suspicion away from me. And I've just done it again. Okay, I just won't report. Yeah, if I've just revealed my trump card, then I just won't report. Amanda, that's a lot of characters to call BS on. Just gonna say that now. Oh, boy. I'm really looking forward to Jacob watching this, because he's going to watch all this back and then have happy memories of just going to that innocent guy that we cast for a couple of Doctor Who audios and then murdering the shit out of him. Multiple times. You mean blank, there's no way you're perfectly pure. Are any of my characters perfectly poor? Self-reporting gives yourself away. Yeah, but they bought it. They bought it last time. That's the thing. They're all very gullible people. Well, you know what? Next Among Us game we play, whenever that will be, we shall see. And Amanda, you've witnessed to this as well. We have fun. We do indeed have fun. I know. Oh, it's the way my brain works, and it was a very long day at work, and I'm probably quite tired. But oh well, I do these things for my audience of about 3 to 5 people. They brought it last time doesn't mean they will next time. So I'll adapt my method. Yeah, that's fair. It's not for everyone. I know a few people that won't. I know a few people that don't play it either. Yeah, that's fair. Because I know you'd be wanting to kill me instantly. Says this as well. Oh boy. Right. You know, I think we've had fun, and I definitely could continue this, but I feel like my voice might give out in a minute. So, yeah, it's quite easy. So, I think I'll I think I'll start wrapping it up now actually. Just to save my voice from any future torment. So, it's been fun. It's definitely flown by. Happy first year anniversary everyone for this. And you never know, might have another year in us left. Might continue for a while. We don't know. I've certainly got no plans to stop. Oh, oh, okay. I thought that was something else. Yeah. So, yeah, I will probably. I mean, I want to play a Fury Warrior on World of Warcraft. Fair. So, yeah, I reckon we can probably. I think we'll probably wrap up now. Thank you everyone for coming. It's definitely been fun. All the Among Us rage included. Woo. And yeah, so I'll probably see you. I will see you next time when I'll be 1 year older and 1 year probably still painfully average at Among Us. No. Everyone stay safe in the chat out there. It's still unusual times, but we band together. And everyone remember to keep being gay. Yay. I think everyone in this chat's now LGBT as well, so that's great. Inclusiveness. Yay. Everyone's welcome. So, yeah, I will see everyone next time. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope everyone had fun for a bit of ridiculousness. And, yeah, possibly same time, definitely same place next year when I'm 1 year older.